So some of you guys out there are a little befuddled by toilets and toilet flanges and how they seat properly and how you make them leak proof, so when you install one you're not having any issues. And although my mainstay is tile work, I do set toilets all the time. I have a long plumbing history from years and years and years ago, so I know all about this stuff, and I am going to demonstrate, or at least show you, a cool little thing that I discovered by virtue of one of my customers. Again, on any video that I do, on any video that you see where I show a product, it's not an endorsement, so understand that I'm not getting paid by anybody, the company or anybody else, to show you this thing. It's just anytime I see a cool product, I feel like I need to show it so that other people can go, ooh, that's cool, and go get one too if they want to. If they don't want to, that's fine. Anyway, so I have built up this floor. I had to with plywood, you can see, and I got some hardy backer there, and I have my toilet flange. The old toilet flange was cracked, so I put in a retrofit toilet flange, and now it is below grade. It's below where I need it to be. Once I get my tile on there, I'm going to be another 1/4 inch up. So there's a couple ways you can go about doing this. One is at Home Depot or Lowe's, you can get one of these gasket type flanges, and so they have both 3-inch and 4-inch, and this gasket keeps all gases out and all that stuff, and it actually fits down into your current toilet. When you push that down, you see the gasket pushes into the toilet, so you don't have any type of gases or anything coming out. And then as you push this down, it will give you, honestly, you could use spacers, but it would take me about three toilet spacers to attach to the top of this in order to do what I just did there. So now I'm flush. So at this point you would screw it down. Now, because the neck of this flange is so long, there's a little plumbing trick that you could use anything. You could use spacers, you could use shims or whatever. If you needed this to come up a little higher, you could actually set those where your screws are not going to be, and you can get your extra room in there if you wanted to. But there's a little plumbing trick where we'll take a piece of copper pipe, say a 1/2 inch piece of copper pipe, and if you need 1/2 inch, then you would get, you know, 1.5 inch screw, and you would put that copper pipe, the piece that you cut off, inside of there, all equal pieces, and put 4 of them in 4 of those screws. I hope I'm not confusing you. So the copper pipe would go from the head of the screw, and if the head is too big to wrap around, you would put a washer up there to take the space up, and then you would just screw it down into your 4 holes. Really, 4 is all you need. You could over screw and do 6 or 8 of them if you wanted to. But those copper pieces would be between these 2 flanges. So I don't know if I haven't confused you already. Sometimes I have a hard time explaining things because it's kind of easy to me, but it's not easy to other people. So I'm going to try and explain it the best I can again. No, but I hope I don't lose you. So if you look up under there, say you needed this much more distance between your bottom flange and this retrofit flange. So your copper pipe would go right there where one of your screw holes would be. Your copper pipe would sit right up on top of there, and then your screw, assuming that it's long enough, your screw would go right inside of the copper pipe and then screw down to the floor, thereby giving you that extra room that you needed. So that's one way to go about it, and actually that's what I'm going to be doing in here, is using this flange. These are, I think they're about $10 or $12 for one of these. So push tight is what this one is called. They have different ones. So then at that point you're ready to set your toilet. You put your wax ring on it like normal and just go for it. There is another product out there called Perfect Seal. This thing is kind of cool for a couple different reasons. One, it already has the wax ring inside of it. So if you needed this extra room like I do here, you would get one of these Perfect Seal flanges. And the wax ring, as I said, is already attached to it. There's no pulling out any wax ring, it's already right there. It has 2 components. One is the flange itself with this rubber gasket where your toilet would sit on top of, and then it has this extension. So in this case we would probably need the extension. That's if your floor is really deep, then you could keep it that depth. If you were even lower than this, then this part of the flange would retrofit on top of your old flange, and there you have it. So the wax ring is already built in. You would just screw these four things down. Hold on a second. Right around there. You would just screw those things down to the current holes that you have, and then you're ready to go. If that's not enough, if you're deeper than that, then you would add this extension and just set it on top of that. And that becomes a permanent seal. So if you ever have to pull your toilet up again, you don't have to chase all these wax rings, and you don't have to mess around with scraping off the old wax and everything, because it's already there. So let's assume, for argument's sake, this was a toilet, and for whatever reason you had to pull off the toilet, boom, right there you have rubber. Instead of wax, the wax is below, and you don't have to do anything else. You want to put the toilet back on, boom, you're ready to go. No wax to deal with, the wax is already underneath. That is such a cool invention. I don't know what they cost. My customer actually bought this, and I don't know where she bought it. It could have been Home Depot or Lowe's, or could have been anywhere. Anyway, this is a very, very cool invention. I like it. It has a practical use, and I will probably use them when I need to going into the future. And you know, if you want to have a permanent wax seal that has no wax, this is the product to get. So there you go. Again, I'm not getting paid by this company. I know nothing about them, but it's a really cool invention that that you might want to use someday.